Giggs. Giggs. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'ma cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Rhodri Giggs on Football. This is Ace Podcast Nation. I am Si, as I mentioned. We're here to talk all things football for the next 45 minutes. All the biggest stories in the beautiful game. And as usual, I am joined by the man himself. Ex Salford City, Aberystwyth Town, Mosley, Bangor City, and a whole host of other clubs. The future, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Always good, mate. Always happy. Always busy. But there's lots to discuss, mate. Obviously, Wales got a big couple of games now over the weekend and stuff, which we'll get to. You've got...
Oh, your volume's gone.
Better.
There you go. Back.
What happened then? It just went off for a second. Where was I?
Start again, go on.
So, yeah, there's lots to talk about, mate. You've got, obviously, a new manager at your club, which I think has got an impact on a whole variety of things. Wales got two big games. Brazilian legends, Roberto Carlos and Gilberto Silva, played a game in Sussex, which is just random. Most importantly, Kev McNaughton, representing the Aberdeen in the Masters tournament. They went and won the whole thing, so good for them. But, yeah, there's lots to discuss. Obviously, England played last night. A few new names in there. So there's plenty to discuss, mate. Man City's charges. Did you see that all of the other clubs have already put their compo claims in anticipation? Just like ready. I'm assuming there's some sort of time limit on certain things. So they've kind of lined it all up ready. So I think every man and their dog has expected Manchester City to be found guilty. However, when you've got the best lawyers that money can buy, I think it was already shown when UEFA tried to charge them that there's always loopholes and ways that you can avoid certain things. Would you agree with that, mate?
I do, but 115 is a lot. You only need one. No, so what's the percentage out of 115? They're going to have one stick.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Would you think?
Yeah, it's highly likely, especially when how can you explain paying so many millions to Mancini in this? Yeah, so this, and that's allegedly, by the way. So
yes, absolutely, we don't want to get sued.
But yeah, it's just you'd think one might stick, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? They've got big.
Yeah, and the thing is, mate,
they've got big deep pockets, and like you say, they'll have good solicitors. So
yeah, and they straight away they countersued the Premier League. I believe that's probably a tactic to try and get the Premier League to kind of back off, because whilst the Premier League is absolutely minted, they haven't got a bottomless pit of money. and it's going to be. I'm sure it's been a very expensive process. But like you say, mate, 115 charges. You've got to think that the Premier League would be fairly confident that at least some of them are going to stick and they're going to prove them. You would think.
You would hope so.
I think they'd get relegated, mate, if I'm being honest. That's my prediction for I just don't think there's any other alternative punishment to it if they're found guilty. I don't think there's any point in if you strip them of the league. I don't believe that the other teams should be given the titles or the cups during that period, because I just think it's a waste of time.
So it shouldn't go on their shouldn't go on their record then. It should be taken off one and given another one.
No, I think they should take it off City, strip them of it. But I don't think they should go back and go Jose, you get a Premier League medal. And Liverpool, you get a Premier League.
Yeah, I agree. I think they punish them going forward accordingly, because you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, because it's just fast.
I agree. Even though, if they've found they've cheated, you can't go back. But
it's a strange one, though, isn't it? Because if they're found to have cheated, and it is an if, United would have won the league twice, I think, in that time, or once certainly. Didn't Ollie finish second, or was it third? I know Jose finished second.
Ollie finished second. Jose before him finished second. Yep.
And Liverpool
finished second.
So it's problematic, isn't it? But there's not a lot we can go into with it. I'm trying to get a football finance expert to join us in a couple of weeks' time to really go through it. But I'm kind of leaning towards one. If I can get him on, I think I might leave it until the case is either almost finished or until it's actually finished, and kind of get him.
You're going to get a what on?
A football finance expert.
Okay.
I won't say his name just in case I'm not able to get him on. But I'm hopeful. I've struck up a conversation, and I'm hoping that he'll join us. He's very, very, very good at what he does, and he understands it all. So he's a good guy to get on and break it all down in a way that everybody can understand. And I think that would be beneficial, mate, ultimately. Because you want to, what we want to be saying what is true, and we don't want to misrepresent anything or say anything that's not factually correct. So I think it's a good way to do that. Staying in Manchester, mate, but moving away from the City side of things. Your new manager's in. He's been in since Monday. I'll tell you one thing straight away, mate. He is a very, very charismatic man. Very likable and very, I don't know, just watching him, the way he interacts with people, the bits I've seen of him in the media, the way he greeted the people when there was a video of him going around the training ground and meeting players and stuff like that. Very charismatic guy, and he seems like the sort of guy, obviously, it's only little snippets, seems like the sort of guy who gets players on side and willing to run through a brick wall for him. And I think that's exactly what United need, is someone like that who can, really pull everyone together, but is also tactically very clever and can do that, the other side of it as well. Are you excited by him?
Yeah, just like you say, just fits right, doesn't it? All the things he's saying, like you say, that the pictures and the videos you've seen have been very warming. Just this guy, just feels right. But it's just because it feels right.
Ten Hag said a lot of the right things when he came in, didn't he?
Yeah, just because it feels right doesn't mean it's going to be right. But like I say, it just does. I just can't explain it. Yeah, it just does what I've seen anyway, and what I've read and what I've seen. But it's still a big job, mate. Still a very big job. But all signs are good. And, there's some players in there that have not done anything whilst been at Manchester United there. Yeah. Mason Mount, Lenny Euro. Who else?
Anthony.
Zirkzee, Anthony. So there's some players there that if he can make a £1 million striker now hot property from Coventry, then you think he could do that with other players. So I think I've said before, I think it was last week or the week before, confident footballer, it's a different animal. So and if he can breathe confidence into players and make them better, that's only better for Manchester United, isn't it? And he's got some good players to work with, some potential players that we've seen quality from before. Marcus Rashford, can he get in a positive state of mind and get him doing what we know that he can do? So all stuff that's up in the air. What positions? Who's going to play where? It's all interesting, exciting, intriguing. I'm just waiting to this 100th international break since the flipping summer is finished, and then we can get back into it then, because it's a big running then. So there's a lot of games, Christmas coming, New Year, so we'll have a lot of games, and then we'll see it all unfold and see how he's going to set up and how he's going to play and how the players are going to react, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, exciting at the minute.
Yeah, there's a few things really which kind of really I find quite interesting about the Premier League at the moment. Number one, United are 4 points off third, which is incredible when you think of everything that's gone on this season. So when you look at it from that point of view, there's plenty to play for this season. Absolutely plenty to play for. And then on the other side, I've seen a few people videos on Sky and TalkSport talking, and then, YouTube creators as well, just talking about, his tactics of this and the tactics of that. And I've seen a few people, I don't want to say misrepresent it, but they've got some of it slightly wrong, in my opinion. So generally with his 3-4-2-1 system, he tends to play when he's got everyone fit. On the one side of wing back will be a more of an out and out fullback, and then on the other side will be more of a winger, and then the two sort of 10s behind the striker tends to be, one of them is an out and out number 10, and one of them is more of a wide inside forward or a winger, someone with a bit of pace. So it's not two number 10s and two wing backs necessarily. There's a winger in there usually in the wide areas as well, and then the other side of it is.
So wouldn't that Zirkzee be perfect for that then? Because if he's saying he's a 9.5.
Yeah, well, you'd think so. Zirkzee would fit in there. Bruno fits in there. But also, maybe there is room for a Garnacho.
Mason Mount would probably play there. Garnacho could probably play there. Ahmad could probably play there. Manu could probably play there. Who else am I missing out? Rashford could probably play there.
Yeah.
So,
and even in the wing-back areas, I think Ahmad could do a wing-back job as the more attacking one. I think Garnacho could do it with a bit of coaching. I think Anthony could definitely got a lot of the attributes to be able to do it. I don't think Rashford's got the work rate, if I'm being honest, to do it, to get up and down. But I definitely think Rashford could play as the striker. He could play as one of the 10s. And I think one of the players who I think will benefit the most out of that system is Rasmus Højlund, because he won't ask him to drop in and have it to feet and play like a hold-up player. He's trying to be Mark Hughes or Drogba or someone like this.
And they tend to put the wide players as what foot they are. So if they're on the right, they'll be right-footed. Yes. So there'll be a lot of more balls coming in the box.
Exactly that. But he does a lot. Gyökeres does a lot of running in down the channels and running in behind, that's what Rasmus Højlund wants. And so often with United, you see him dropping into the centre circle to have it to feet, and he's battling with the centre back. And then as soon as he goes off, you'll see Zirkzee through on goal 1-on-1, and he hasn't got the pace to get away. And you're like, well, you've just had a centre forward who wants that, and you haven't created it. So it'll be interesting, mate. I think I was interested that he also said he's going to start with his system and then have a look at the players. And then he might decide that, all right, for the rest of this season, we'll go 4-2-3-1 because that suits the players. I believe that United have the players now to play his system. And I also am a firm believer in United won. Like, he was the guy to the point where they told him it was now or never. If he's your guy, then give him the patience and let him play his system. Don't have him changing because the players are moaning or this or that, or like, let him play his system. Let him play the players he wants to play. Maybe give him a little bit of support in January. But ultimately, like, yes, there's lots to play for this year. But the manager's 39 years old. He's one of the most highly rated managers out there. He's been linked with the City job, the Liverpool job. He's very wanted. Give him time. Don't just, if he starts off bad or he does well and then he has a bad season next year, whatever. Like, you've got to give him time, because I do think it feels like he's a good fit overall and in many different ways. But I think the fans have got to give him time. I think it'll also be a little bit easier.
Mate, sorry to interrupt. He doesn't need to worry about the fans. The fans will be fully behind him, like we are behind every manager. Ten Hag was having a torrid time, and the fans still backed him, still clapped him, because that's what we do at United mostly in percentage. We're backing.
So is it the players who let him down?
Absolutely.
Do you think Amorim will he get right? So will he get more out of this squad and make them better, or in January, in the summer, will we see maybe the likes of, I don't know, X, Y, and Z leaving and have a bit of a clear out so he can bring in players that he wants?
I think you'll see he'll tweak and make them better. Look what Rude did in 4 games.
Yeah, true.
He hadn't scored more than 2 goals for how long, and they do it in how many times in 4 games?
Yeah,
so
times,
it's just little tweaks, mate. It's just obviously Ten Hag was too stubborn, even though everyone can see the big gaps in midfield. Just stick an extra guy in there, which Rude did, and little tiny other tweaks here then. So yeah, he's got the players to do it.
I think there'll be a bit of a clear out anyway.
It's got to be adaptable. Go on, what?
Yes. And in fairness, he has shown in his time at Sporting that he's very tactically adaptable. When they had a load of players injured and suspended last year, he went to 4-2-3-1. He didn't just play this is the system and this is what we got to play, no matter what.
You can't do that.
And I think that's what Ten Hag did at several different points. One that is, he just kept playing the same, no matter who the personnel were.
Yeah, and just wasn't good enough. You have to be able to adapt, and that's what the good coaches do. And obviously, he does that. And we've seen that with Rudy, just tweaked a little bit, little things, little bits. And you won't get me wrong, there's still teams that you should be winning against. Greece side, a Leicester side at home, we should be beating them.
Yeah.
Ipswich away. It's tough games that we need to be competing more at. Tottenham at home shouldn't be getting beat off Bournemouth at home, shouldn't be getting battered off Liverpool 3-0 at home. These all should be competitive games, where we're in games instead of getting rolled over, especially at home.
And then kind of lastly on it, I think regardless of how this season goes, I think there'll be some United players moved on in the summer, because I think Ineos want to get their age down. They have a certain profile of player which they like,
Who?
In terms of they like you. If you look at like Xerxes, to be honest, like he's very.
He's only there. He's been there, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they will look to move out some of the aging players, and they will look to. You look at like what Dan Ashworth has done previously.
What I've seen of that Xerxes played in the right areas, he could be effective.
Yes.
1-touch, 2-touch play is very, very good. He just needs to.
He can't be the man up front on his own, can he?
No, he needs to add goals to his game. He needs to at least score 10, 15 goals. If he's playing in that 9, half, 10, he has to do more. But he has to be given opportunities to do that. You can't just come on 30 minutes a game there. You have to give him a good run. So, but you have to perform, and you have to work hard, and you have to earn your right to do that. So, like I say, he's got a lot of options. Who fits where? Who do you know? He's got a lot to think about, and who he goes with. It'll be interesting to see who his first team is. Ipswich away, because who will he have to work with?
In the international break.
Yeah, but Kobe Manu's there, Mason Mount's there, Rashford's there, De Ligt will be away, Martinez will be away, Garnacho will be away. Will Ahmad be there? I don't know who's he. Where's Ahmad?
I think he plays Ivory Coast, is it? Double check that.
So Hoyland, there'll be a lot of players away, so it depends. You know, he might just get into players.
Look at the youngsters, mate. He'll get a good look at some of those young players who are on the brink, and he likes them. I think.
And the players who were there, like the Manu, Rashford, Mason Mount, he could play him in that number 10s and like little training sessions and have a look at them and see if they'll fit into that system. I've seen Rashford play number 10 a couple of times for England though, and he's played for United I think once, but he can play there. But you can get in them little pockets, then get people on the back foot. But it's coaching, mate. It's a lot of coaching for, and that's what he's good at. So, like I say, it's interesting. We'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, mate. I think it's going to be it'll be fascinating, and like someone like Mazraoui, who I think is such a good footballer. He could play as the wing back. He could play in central midfield. He could play as one of the three at the back. He could probably play as one of the 10s. Like, he's that good a footballer for me.
No, he can't play number 10.
No, I know. I just mean hypothetically, like, he's technically so good that he can play anywhere. I think I would imagine he'll either be one of the three at the back if someone's out, or he'll be the what. For me, I'd have him on the one side and then the more attacking wing back on the other side. But there's so many options, mate, really, when you look at it. But it'll be interesting, mate, because there's a few players there who I think are playing for their futures. You know, they've got to hit the ground running, and they've got to do well for this manager. There's also then a couple who I think have got to probably trying to save their United careers. You know, your Anthony's, you know, Mason Mount is under a bit of pressure because he's been injured for all the time he's been there. You know, Lenny Yoro's not in that boat, but he hasn't played a game competitively. So it'll be interesting who he goes with, who's fit, because apparently Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro are going to be fit after this international break. So, you know, United, he could have almost a full team to select from. I don't know how far Mainu's off. Casemiro's done well.
Back in training. See what I've been seeing at Carrington. Mainu's back in training,
and I know Mount is. Lenny Yoro's in. So if he's got a full team to select from, that'll be even more interesting who he picks. Because, you know, if you've got players out, it's kind of forced almost. But if everyone's available, like, who's he go with? That'll be really interesting. Couple of little Liverpool tidbits, mate, which I know you love to talk about Liverpool. During Alisson has been out injured since October, and that Kelleher has played in goal. Done a very good job, in fairness, and Liverpool have been great.
Very good job. Is he Irish, him?
I'm not 100% sure, mate. I think so. I'll double check that. But he's got a very Irish sounding first name, which I won't try and pronounce and butcher. But he's done an excellent job. Yeah, he's Irish. Yeah, he's done an excellent job, mate. I've been really impressed with him. Do you think there's any way he keeps his place in the first 11 when Alisson's fit? Because many people think Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world.
Let me think about this. No.
Not a chance.
No.
Interesting.
What he's done is shown people. Maybe if I was the manager and I was the coach, I would say, look, you've got injured. He's come in. He's done the business, not let us down. I've got to stay with him. So something happens. Now Alisson might be saying, "Nah, forget that.
Yeah.
January, I'm off," which he could do because Alisson has done very well. And he's done what be number 2, and he's a number 1 keeper. Or he could say, you've done great for us. You've put in the shop window, and then you probably look to move on if you was him, or have assurances. Is Alisson going to move on and I can take over? So, but what he has done is put himself in the shop window, put himself in a very positive place.
Well, yeah, he's shown that when Alisson does leave, he's up to being the number 1. I think.
And if he's not being considered as that, or he gets dropped, then he could be looking. You know what? It's ready now for me to move on. I don't want to be sitting on the bench. I've had a taste of first team football, and I think I'm good enough to be a number 1. So, and he's every right to think that because he's done very well, the top of the league. But it's a different. It's one of them decisions as a manager. Not a difficult decision. It's a good decision. Good decision to have. Good difficult decision to have.
So, staying with Liverpool, there's been a lot of rumours.
That's what makes you better, mate. That's what makes you interrupt that much. That's what makes you better. That in-house competition.
100%. Yeah, you got to have. I mean, just as an example, someone who plays for your club, Luke Shaw. I always think his best seasons for United have been when he's got competition for the left back. If you look back historically, when the seasons when he's been like the only real choice, he's been quite poor.
When we sign a left back, the donuts are put away, and then he starts training properly.
Yeah, but he's one of them which I think needs to work for his place. Like he needs that competition in house, and I think that's you've got to have two.
He needs competition, so he don't.
Sticking with Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold is out of contract in the summer, been heavily linked with Real Madrid. However, there's been a little twist in it. Dani Carvajal of Madrid is out for the rest of the season. Strong rumours that Madrid will move for Alexander-Arnold in January.
20 million because he's got 6 months left. He's going to leave. Yeah, 20 million. Come on, but if I'm Trent Alexander, I'm not leaving.
If you're Liverpool,
on to the end of the season, you're top of the league, got a chance to win the Premier League. I know they won the Premier League before. It was like COVID. It didn't really count, does it? You can't win the Premier League, celebrate it with the most important people, not to celebrate it with you, the fans.
Yeah, I mean, he never experienced it with fans, did he?
Yeah, it's got an asterisk on it. Don't get me wrong. It's go down in history books. Liverpool won it. I'm sure Liverpool fans are the same. You want to win a league and do it properly.
And whilst they're flying, surely they're not going to look at taking 20 million for someone like him. I understand he's going to go on a free, but if he's going to go, at least if you win the league, you win the league, and he helps you do it.
It depends how you play it, mate. He might say,
also, he might stay in that January to the end of the season. If you win the league, he might think, no, this is my home, this is my place, this is where I want to be. And he might change his mind about going to Madrid in that period.
There's a flip side to that, though. He might say, no, I'm going to go out on the top, just won the league, I'm going to go out league champion. But the flip side to Real Madrid, if you don't come to us now in January, we're going to go look somewhere else, and then come summer, we won't need you. So, yeah,
I got to be honest.
If he stays, and he'll go in the summer.
Yeah,
I think he'll leave his boyhood club in the mire when they're top of the league.
Yeah, like I think he'd be mad, regardless whether it's January or in the summer. I think he'd be mad to stay at Liverpool, and it's not because it's Liverpool. Don't get me wrong. They're going to win. I think they'll win the league this year, and I think they're very good. But
right, moving swiftly on, talking about bin dippers far too long.
I'm just saying, for him, I think he's so suited to Madrid and the way they play football that I think it just makes sense on every level. Obviously, one of his best mates is already out there. I just think, from a football point of view, it's just the perfect, like almost like the perfect.
They've been by far the best team this season so far. But he's just got injured, so hopefully it's not too bad for him.
Yeah. Were you surprised when you heard that United were only 4 points and how close it is from
No,
third?
I've seen it. I was talking about it last week with the City lad. We're literally one game behind you. If we win that with 1 point, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Not City. I mean, being top three.
Yeah.
We're four off. I'm sure we're on 15, and fourth and third are on 19.
Yeah, I think it's 19 or 18. 19. So third is Chelsea and third are on 19 points, as are Arsenal in fourth, and Forest in fifth, and Brighton in sixth. And you're on 15.
But there's a lot of teams in there. It's very tight. So
it is very tight. And City have lost 4. Is it 4 on the bounce now or 5 on the bounce? 4 on the bounce, isn't it?
Say it again. So how many?
4 on the bounce or 5?
What was it, 4? Yeah, 4.
I think it's 4. But
no, it is 4. I'm just.
It is unheard of. Let's be honest.
It's not really. It's not really if you go back in history.
No. In Pep's era, it's very rare.
Pep's era, but a life of a City fan, they'll be more than used to that.
They play Spurs next, mate, at 5:30 on the 23rd. It is at City's ground. But Spurs, I think, were the first team to beat them in this run. Spurs have
had a good. Probably Spurs, probably one of the most teams that has beat them at City's ground. I'm sure of it. Either them or Crystal Palace, one of them two.
And Spurs need the points. They're down in 10th.
They do.
They've kind of quietly.
They do, especially with it, being the second season, and always wins something.
Yeah, and if you look at their form, Spurs in the last 6 games, it's literally win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So they're actually due to win the next game. If you go on their form,
there's no consistency, but it's very consistent, isn't it?
it's like perfectly consistent. Dominic Solanke, mate, did I or did I not say that he might struggle to score goals for Spurs? How many has he got so far this year?
I don't know, but he's getting absolutely thrown off my FPL team. It's killing me. Now Isak's back. We're doing a quick swap.
He's played 9 matches. He's got 1 assist and 4 goals, which actually isn't that bad. But
not too bad.
I think if he can get that consistency,
that 60 million gets you now. 1 in 2.
It's a lot of money, isn't it? For very little.
It is, but we're being harsh. It's only been 15 games,
9 games.
So we'll let Solanke, Dominic have a pass, and we'll see where he is at the end of the season. But he should be getting 20 odd goals in that side. 20 odd goals.
Should do, shouldn't he? Really. They do create a lot of chances, Spurs. They just inconsistent in terms of results. Paul Pogba terminated his contract by mutual agreement with Juventus. He's 31 years old. His ban is obviously reduced to 18 months. He can resume training in January, and he'll be eligible to play from March. So he will be able to join a club now in January on a free. Do you think a Premier League team touches him?
First of all, I don't really care much about Paul Pogba.
I know you're not a fan, mate, but just very quickly, do you think a Premier League would take a risk on him? Is it a risk?
No, it's not a risk. No, it's not a risk. Depends on who.
How much money you'd want, stuff like that, probably come into it as well, wouldn't it? He can't really demand.
He could get 150, 200 grand.
Yeah.
Some of these players are getting. Some of these players somewhere like a West Ham.
Would you take him at United on a free?
No.
Absolutely not, is it?
No.
Well, I think he might end up in Spain, personally. I think he might end up going to one of the big clubs out there, Atletico, Barcelona, maybe.
I'm thinking more of the lines of Inter Miami, Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia.
that makes a lot of sense. Saudi.
World Cup in America next year or the next time it's the World Cup in America, whenever that is. When is it? 2026?
Yeah, I think so. But if he goes to America, does he get selected for the French squad? Is the other side of it.
Well,
But then,
Didier Deschamps be there though? 2
true.
years away. Been there a long time.
And then also, like,
it's Mbappe stuff as well going on.
Yeah, I was looking at it. If you look at like Barcelona, they got quite a young team going on at the moment, and they, money's tight. Would they look at it as like a bit of experience, good player, bring him in on a free? Does that work? In there, I guess it depends what his reputation is within the game, like how damaged that is.
Listen, mate, if he turns up to your training facility and performs like he can, yeah, it doesn't really matter. He served his bat on his back. He can play. It's not like it's a Mason Greenwood situation, is it? He's just had a bad supplement. He's had a bad vitamin supplement.
And in fairness to him, his ability has never been in the doubt, has it? It's always been his attitude.
Yeah, his attitude, his work rate, but his ability is, there's no question about his ability.
Scott McTominay tearing it up at Napoli, mate. Just putting that out, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
But a story I want to kind of sort of finish on, mate. David Coote, the referee.
Oh, so we're missing out Bellamy. Too well.
Yeah, no, we'll finish up on Wales. David Coote, right, the referee. First of all, got a video came out of him making disparaging remarks about Jurgen Klopp, and then another video came out of him snorting coke. Now,
wait 1 minute. It's just the first one first. First one, he's got a point. He is a cunt, and he is,
I think this guy should question his friends, mate, like who he's hanging around with. To be honest with you, because they have stitched him up. Really,
that's not in question, is it?
Do you know what I mean, mate?
He says he told him on his second video that can't go out, mate. What he should have done is, nice one, gives that, delete. But he's obviously had a few
the wrong people,
sherbets, had a few, and just chatted about, and his mate stitched him up for a few quid. So, it's a bad business, but this.
It's a sad world, mate, though.
It is a sad world. It is a sad world, but I'm sure other refs do lots of things in their own time, but it's their own private time. What you don't do is have people around you who are going to film it and basically ruin your life. Just ruin your life. Totally. Premier League. After the first bit, I was like, he's called him as a German this, and he's called him a... That's nothing. But then when you're videoing yourself sniffing, mate, what are you doing? You don't. He seems a bit of a sausage anyway. A bit of a feeble sausage anyway. So, but you don't wish that on anyone. But and there's a picture of him with all the lady boys in Thailand having a good, jolly up without the wives. Or they might have been the wives. I don't know. What's the word?
Cast aspersions.
I don't want to speculate. Yeah, cast aspersions. Yeah. So it's a factual program. So, who takes a picture of a load of ladyboys like that? Happy as Larry. Yeah. Some of them look like blokes. Guys, what you doing? Just like referees, just melts anyway. Just guys who couldn't play football or got bullied at school. It melts. But you don't wish this on them. It's just,
I think it's horrible, mate. I do. Like watching people get stitched up by someone they know, someone they met, they might have classed as a good mate, has thrown him under the bus, ruined his career. Because he is, regardless of what you think about whether he's a good ref and this and that, he was one of the bigger name refs. He was getting the big games.
Well, he's a Premier League referee, so he's one of the select few. But was he? He's one of them refs, mate, that just glows below the radar.
Yeah.
Doesn't come across as look at me. Just does his job. Just one of them that does his job. Looks like he gets intimidated every now and again by a player going sick at him, but manages the game relatively well. But no one probably David Coote. Who's that? Google him. Oh right, yeah, now I know him. But now no one knew who David Coote was two weeks ago. Who's David Coote? I don't know. He's a Premier League referee. Let me Google him. Now, if you said Graham Paul or Howard Webb or who's the refs, Michael Oliver or who else loves themselves, Chris Kavanagh, you probably know these people because these are the police love themselves sending people off for no reason because they've got no backbone and bollocks. It's like Declan Rice. He's kicked the ball away, but he's got to play the letter of the law. If you're going by the letter of the law, dickhead, the ball was still moving, so he wouldn't be able to take it. So you're talking shit. So there's bad referees, there's good referees, and there's ones in the middle, and that's what David Coote was.
Yeah, in one word, mate, is he finished as a referee? Or just in this country? Or do you think he goes to like Saudi or somewhere else?
Yeah, they don't care.
Because there's a ref in Spain who was banned for taking bribes and he's still reffing, so
mate. Things change, don't they? Things can change very, very quickly. So, I'm a big NFL fan, and have you ever heard of John Gruden? Well, he was the coach of the Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders now, and there was emails that come out from the NFL that had been leaked by him calling a black fellow, he had big lips and other things that derogatory had said about people. So they sacked him. This was about 2 years ago. But now, it's clamber for him to come back. So things can turn around really quickly. There was another referee that got outed, and I'm sure, is it Madley? Kenny, I forget his name. It escapes me what his name was, but I think it's Kenny Madley or something Madley.
Oh, Bobby Madley, was it?
Yeah, he was outed, but see, he's back refereeing now, so maybe lower leagues, maybe shouldn't really lose his job. No, he's made a mistake. Maybe he needs help.
Yeah, certainly needs to change hands.
Should just have a long sabbatical, Coote. Long sabbatical. People forget about it, but as social media, it's out there forever now. So it's just unfortunate young kids and stuff. So
one thing he's got to do is he's got to change the people he's associating with.
I'm pretty sure he's done that.
That's just a snaky thing to do, mate. I honestly, mate, that infuriates me so much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's done that now.
Snaky for money, But there we go. Right, finishes off, mate. Wales got 2 big games, Saturday and Tuesday. Turkey away and then Iceland at home. Few injuries, few players missing. However, still an interesting squad. A couple of young players in there. Charlie Savage, Charlie Crew, Ruben Colwell included. I think the bench won't be as strong as usual, depending on how you look at it. Because Wales have faded a little bit in the second half of games under Bellamy. Maybe having the youngsters on the bench gives them that energy to put a good second half performance in. Turkey's a very difficult place to go, though, mate. How do you think they'll do?
Yeah, just go there with no fear and play, mate, and see what happens. You got no fear. Just go there, enjoy it, have fun, and hope you get a good result. Playing well, playing with confidence. Bellamy's got them playing very well. Another camp under his belt with him, so hopefully they've come on a little bit better and they keep performing the way they've done. If they come with a positive result, yeah, it's a good thing. If they come with a loss, then it's not a disgrace because it is a difficult place to go. But I'm feeling confident. I think they'll get an away win, 2-1.
Nice, interesting. What about the Iceland game?
That's my heart. My head says 1-0.
Yeah.
My head says 1-0.
How do you think, in terms of the Iceland game, do you think Wales will win that one?
Yeah. At home, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at home. You going?
I am. Shaking my
Nice.
boy Tuesday evening. Looking forward to it, mate.
Nice.
Very much so. So that's us done for this evening. I'll be over on Cardiff City World doing a full tactical preview in about 60 seconds before for about 25 minutes. We'll have a look at the Turkey and the Wales game. But Rhodri, as always, mate, a pleasure.
One word before you go.
Go on.
Paul or Tyson?
Oof, Tyson, mate. Come on.
Good on, Mike. Fucking knock this cunt out.
It's on